Hello, my name is Regita Aisyah Setiawan with number 25 of the Nutrition and Dietary Studies Program Regular A. Pro. Technology is the use of scientific knowledge for practical purpose or application, either in industry or in our daily life, based on our conclusion sourced from the study site. Nutrition is a substance needed by our body for growth, maintaining and repairing body's tissue, regulating processes in the body, and providing energy for body function. Or it can also be interpreted as a building component of the human body. Food processing technology continues to evolve over time. At the same time, the area of food production land is narrowing. This leads to the need for food processing technologies that are able to improve the quality and quantity of food products. One of them is the technology of drying foodstuff. And then food processing is a collection of methods and techniques used to convert raw food into food or convert food into other forms for consumption by human or by the food processing industry. Winarto, 1993. First dryer is a dryer that includes in the conduction dryer or indirect dryer because the transfer process occurs indirectly, namely between the material to be dried, wet material, and the heating medium. There is a barrier wall so that the water is moisture. The vaporous moisture is not carried along the heating medium. This indicates that heat transfer occurs by conduction. The stages that occur in the freeze dryer machine are as follows. Freezing. The product to be dry must be frozen first and vacuumed. After freezing, the product is placed under vacuum. This allows the frozen salt in the product to evaporate without going through the liquid phase, a process known as sublimation. Heat is applied to frozen product to accelerate sublimation. Condensation. A low-temperature condenser will remove the solvent that has evaporated in a vacuum by turning it back into a solid. Advantage of freeze drying. The advantage of using the freeze drying method compared to other methods includes the resulting product will be more stable in quality, no change in aroma, color, and other organoleptic elements. The structure of the material inside the product remains stable. No shrinkage or deformation occurs in the structure of the material. The rehydration power of the product increases with drying results that are very hollow and liquid, so that the rehydration power is very high and can return to physiological, organoleptic, and physical properties which are almost the same as before drying. And disadvantage of freeze drying. The disadvantage of freeze drying is that its operational capacity is quite small. In addition, the equipment cost and operational costs are quite expensive, causing this method to be used only for drying. High-value materials such as spices and herbal plants in the manufacture or perfume formulation. In the freeze drying process, any food ingredients can be used in this method, but the result may differ due to the different moisture content of each food ingredient. This drying applies the principle of pressure and temperature. This method requires very low pressure and temperature. To lower the pressure, the material is put in a vacuum before being put into the freezer to lower the temperature. The sample, namely carrot, was made into a group of slices, digested, and grated to reduce the size. Then each group was divided into 50 grams and put into oven with different temperature, namely 55 degrees and 70 degrees. After 18 hours in the oven, it turned out that the sample had a significant change. The color fades, the texture becomes very crumbly and smell like processed food. Chipped carrots have experienced a drastic weight loss of 90 until 98%. Carrots experience drastic weight loss due to the very high water content, reaching 88.2%. Dried foodstuffs generally turn brown in color. The color change is caused by browning reaction, both enzymatic and non-enzymatic. The most common non-enzymatic browning reaction is the reaction between amino acid and reducing sugars. The reaction of amino acid with reducing sugar can reduce the nutritional value of the proteins contained in them. This is directly proportional to the purpose of drying to extend the shelf life of the product by reducing water activity. This reduction is done by inhibiting microbial growth and enzyme activity without having to deactivate it. On the other hand, drying causes the original properties of the material to change, decrease in quality, and require additional handling before use, namely rehydration. And the last conclusions. Drying is the process of removing a certain amount of water from the material. The main factors affecting drying are factors related to drying air and factors related to material properties. Drying methods that can be used to dry food or food are natural drying, using solar heat, and drying with air. Artificial drying, using a dryer, and freeze drying, using a freezer. Drying is affected by moisture content, product dimensions, temperature of the healing medium, various level of surface displacement, and equilibrium moisture content. Overall, the first drying method is a unique drying method utilizing the knowledge gained from the phase diagram. Although it has several drawbacks, this tool cannot be denied, has distinctive advantage, and is interesting to explore. That is for me. I hope you will enjoy it. And thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.